Hello, and welcome to Hold My Drink, a sobriety podcast. My name is India Gantz, and on today's episode, we're going to be covering the very light topic of how to quit drinking. Yeah, a lot to unpack there, and I just want to start by saying that there is no one correct way to quit drinking. There are lots of strategies. We always want to make sure we're doing it in a healthy way, of course, and being safe, which I'll get into a bit more. But how I got sober was a bit untraditional, and so I just want to give some really tangible tips for quitting drinking if that's something that you want to do. Like I always say, I'm never going to be the one to convince you to stop drinking. That's not my goal. I'm just providing a place to discuss sobriety and share my stories. So I am going to tell you a bit about how I quit, how I decided that I wanted to quit, and how I managed those first few days and weeks that were the hardest of the entire sobriety process. So with that said, let's get into today's episode. Welcome to Hold My Drink, a sobriety podcast. This is a no judgment zone. I really freaking like my life without alcohol. You're not alone. I hope you feel seen. Sobriety has changed my life completely. Okay, I said that my podcast is going to be very casual and, lighthearted, but I do have to start with just one medical PSA. If you are struggling with drinking and looking to quit, you need to talk to a doctor, okay? I didn't, and I'm okay. I quit cold turkey, and it worked for me, but alcohol is one of the only drugs that you can die from quitting. So please, it's in your best interest to talk to a doctor, even if your doctor is the only person that you tell, and they will give you stuff to help you get through those early stages of sobriety that can be a little bit dangerous if you are eliminating alcohol from your diet completely. Okay, be safe, talk to a doctor. Moving right along, let's get into the juicy stuff. Okay, so I did not do detox or rehab like a lot of people do. I think those are great to help you through those early stages where you can be experiencing like some significant withdrawal symptoms, which I experienced some withdrawal symptoms for sure. I just managed them on my own, but detox and rehab are available if you need it, so look into those. But tangible tips, that's what we are talking about today. So I'm going to tell you about some things that I did that helped me, and maybe they will help you too if you are on a similar path that I was. Okay, number one is to connect with a community of some sort. So a lot of people turn to AA for this, and I think that's great. That's not the direction that I went in. I don't like the idea of a 12-step program. I don't know. I like to make my own rules and do what works well for me. It also seems scary and intimidating for me personally. And I know that they are heavily focused on God and religion, I believe, and turning to God during sobriety. And that just wasn't what I needed for my sobriety journey. So I turned to other communities, mostly online. So podcasts, audiobooks, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. I listened and consumed it all. And I found a lot of it very helpful. Some of it not so much, because a lot of people don't drink how I drank. And I'm sure a lot of people who are sober feel that way, that it's like hard to find people who drank exactly how you did and understand you, you come across these videos, and a lot of people, when they were really deep in their relationship with alcohol, they party hard, they drink a ton, they black out, and they make mistakes. Like I felt that was a lot of people that I was listening to and learning from. And it was really hard for me to connect with them because I was somebody who drank a lot on my own, alone at home usually. And you usually couldn't tell that I was drunk unless I accidentally got a little bit too drunk. I kind of enjoyed that 2-beer buzz like all day long. I just enjoyed that relaxation, taking the anxiety away, feeling a little bit more loose and confident and creative. But I was not a blackout drunk type of person. So I found it comforting to sift through all the videos online and find people who drank like I drank. So that was really helpful to connect with people in that way. Another tip, download the app I Am Sober. It's a sobriety tracking app. You put in what you're giving up. For us, alcohol. You put in your start date, you put in why you're quitting, you put in how many calories a day how many dollars a day you spend on alcohol. And it tracks how much money you've saved, how many calories you've saved, how many days you've been sober, how many months you've been sober, all that good stuff. And there's also a community on there. There's like a forum. So you can connect with people who are at your exact stage of sobriety. So I haven't got on the app in a little while, but I think the last time I went on, I was 200 days sober. And so that was really exciting for me. And so I went onto the forum and I connected with other people who are also 200 days sober. And they were just sharing kind of where they're at, how they feel amazing, or maybe what they're struggling with. And you can comment or post something yourself. And it's just a really awesome community. Highly recommend. So find your online community through the I Am Sober app or on any, social media and podcasts that you can find, just like this one. So hi, welcome. Okay, tangible tip number 2. There is no good time to get sober, and there never will be. It's never going to be convenient. It's never going to align perfectly with your schedule. So just do it if you want to do it. Again, I'm never going to be the one to convince you to get sober. That has to come from within. But if you have told yourself, yes, I want to get sober, you got to just do it. When I got sober, it was June 20th, 2024. Zero significance whatsoever. I don't even remember which day of the week it was. I just woke up and said, today is the day. No significance. It was 10 days after my birthday. I didn't even do anything crazy on my birthday. I just was over it. Maybe it was like turning 28 and I was kind of like, hey, my life is not where I want it to be. So I'm not going to drink away the rest of my life. I'm going to actually be coherent enough to work towards my goals and not waste time and better myself. Anyway, so on June 20th, I knew that a week from that date, I had a family vacation. I love to drink on a family vacation. Oh boy. So fun, summertime, Coors Lights. Oh my God, I love it. And it's right at the beginning of the summer too. The worst time to get sober, right? It's never a good time. I'm going to keep saying that. So I had a family vacation, and then I was going to my boyfriend at the time, his family vacation for 4th of July. So I had lined up right away my family vacation, his family vacation, and my high school reunion a couple weeks after that. Could you think of a worse activity to be sober at as a newly sober person? Oh my God, it was horrible. No, I'm kidding. It wasn't that bad. I actually was like really passionate about being sober. I still am, but in my early sobriety especially. So it wasn't too bad. But anyway, I had a family vacation for myself, a family vacation for my boyfriend at the time, and a high school reunion coming up. It's not a convenient time to get sober. But I said, you know what? If I don't just do it, I'm never going to do it. There's always going to be something. Oh my gosh. There's always things in life that come up. Always more excuses you can make. Always more reasons to push back your start date. So big piece of advice for how to quit drinking is just do it. And maybe that's harsh, but that once I decided today's the day I'm doing it, it became easier and easier from that day forward. So you just have to commit to yourself for that first day. When you wake up and feel it in your soul, like that's the day. And just don't pick up a drink. And that's what I did, and it worked for me. Okay, so you get sober. You decide today's the day, right? My really big tip that I want to give you guys is to stock up that refrigerator, because at least for me, like I said, I like to drink at home. I like to constantly have something in my hand and drink something even while I'm at home. So I still like to drink all night long. I just don't drink alcoholic beverages. So stock that fridge. Get all the Diet Dr. Peppers. Get all the sparkling waters. Get all the whatever the heck your heart desires, especially in the early days. Your body is really low on sugar when you quit alcohol. So I think it's also important to have some sweet drinks around, like go for the full sugar Coke. Again, I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice, but your body is craving sugar. It'll be massively going through sugar withdrawal as well as the alcohol withdrawal. So I would recommend having some fun drinks in your fridge. Ones that you can guzzle down as many as you want, like sparkling waters, and then ones that are like a sweet drink and will satisfy that craving for you. Like a Coke, or I like diet soda, so Diet Dr. Pepper worked great for me. And they have non-alcoholic beers and stuff like that. I think in the very early days, I didn't gravitate towards those because I didn't really want to think about the fact that I was drinking something similar to beer, like I just didn't want that to cross my mind. But it was, I don't know, maybe like just a week of sobriety before I picked up my first non-alcoholic beer. And it's been a match made in heaven since then. I love an NA beer. But anyway, stock your fridge. Trust me. Thank me later. Have so many drinks on hand. Have so many snacks on hand. And sunflower seeds, baby. Oh my God. If you like doing something with your mouth, like the act of drinking, you're constantly having something on your mouth. So people turn to chewing gum. I love sunflower seeds. So I would just munch those all night long. And yeah, so just be prepared because you're going to be having those cravings. You're going to want something to do with your mouth. You're going to want sugar. So just have those things around and ready to roll. Okay, I just have to share a couple of my favorite non-alcoholic drinks, especially one that really got me through those early days. It's called Recess, Recess, like recess. It is an adaptogen drink with magnesium. Don't get freaked out. It's not a CBD drink. It's not a mushroom drink. I personally am sober completely. Like, I don't do anything else. No alcohol, no nothing. Okay? I do caffeine, and that's the wildest I get. If you're into the CBD stuff or THC or whatever, like you do you, that was not for me. So these Recess drinks, anyways, they don't have any of that. They are just kind of a relaxing drink. You can do the research on it a bit more, but those are incredible. They actually say that they help with anxiety and things like that for people who struggle with being anxious. And I think they do wonders. Oh my God, I would put ice in a wine glass and pour one of those, and I felt bougie. They're delicious. I recommend the strawberry rose or the raspberry lemon flavors. Those are my two favorites by far, and I've tried them all. They're so good. They're very lightly carbonated. It's like the perfect amount of carbonation. I wish all sodas were like that, but it's so good. And I would have one before bed because in my early sobriety days, I could not get relaxed. I mean, I would just want to be doing something all night long until I literally passed out in bed. Like, cleaning and creating and arts and crafts. And I didn't want to sit and watch movies and stuff like that. So it was always stuff I was doing, yard work or editing, working. Just, I wanted to be doing something all night long until the very bitter end. And I used to use alcohol to like start relaxing. It's how I fell asleep every night. It's what calmed me down when I was stressed. So these drinks, Recess, they really, really help. Like if you're somebody who has a stressful situation come up at work and you instantly think about alcohol, hi, same. But a Recess really helps with that too. Now I don't need Recess. I like them because they taste good and they're great and they are a nice relaxing drink as a special treat sometimes. But in the beginning of my sobriety, those were like my medicine. I mean, those are how I got through the early nights. They should be sponsoring me because those drinks were like life-changing. I mean, they really helped with that early, what do you call it? Like that fidgetiness and just anxiety and constantly wanting to be productive. Those really helped calm me down and made it so that I could actually like sit down and watch a movie and have a real evening. Anyway, love the Recess drinks. They're fabulous. On that note, I think another big sobriety tip is to keep busy. You will be confused or like, I don't know how to describe it. It's like, if you're sober, you get this. In the early days, you want something to do at all times because alcohol is the only way that you could relax. You know what I mean? Eventually that goes away and I relax just fine without alcohol now. Like I feel like I'm fully regulated and I can just chill with nothing. But in those early days, I could not chill. I had no chill, absolutely no chill. And so, yeah, keep busy. Use that time to be ultra productive. Like if you want to start a freaking podcast, get sober and start your podcast because it'll give you something to do all night long. When everyone else is chilling and watching TV, relaxing, and you're just like, I can't sit still. So speaking of keeping busy and wanting to be productive all night long, another sobriety tip is to have things to keep yourself busy. Like if you want to start a freaking podcast, do it when you get sober because it's so nice to have stuff to do. Pick up a new hobby, work on something that you've been putting off, like have stuff ready to go especially stuff that you can do with your hands. That was really helpful for me, because when you're in that like fidgety state, like you have to be doing something, it's nice to actually fulfill that urge to like want to be productive all night long. And that goes away. Now I can relax with absolutely nothing. But in those early stages, it's really nice to embrace the insane amount of productivity you're feeling. The days feel so long because you're not cutting off the day at 3 p.m. anymore by drinking and, completely throwing off the entire rest of the day. You have all day to do stuff. So even after a full work day and a workout and this and that, you still have more time. And your little fidgety, recently sober brain is going to be like, what can I do? I got to do something. I got to clean. I got to have a project. So go to the craft store, start a podcast, write a book, like do some yard work, have some things lined up, because you're going to be freaking out like I need things to do. And it's nice if you actually have things to do. All right, the next tip for quitting drinking is to surround yourself with people who are going to support you. So if you have a roommate or a significant other or family members, people that you see all the time, like I kind of isolated myself from people who weren't like really, really close friends, but the people that are close friends, family members, significant others, like make sure that those people support you 100% and don't tempt you. The boyfriend that I had at the time was really supportive with that and was like thinking that it was awesome that I was getting sober. He was like so supportive. And I think that's what we really need in early sobriety, is like blind support. Just like, absolutely, you're a rock star. I'm so proud of you. Like, and if people are not supporting you in that way, you can let them know that that's how you'd like to be supported. You don't want to talk about why you're doing this, how long it's going to last, why is it hard, all that type of stuff. You just want blind support. And please tell the people around you that that's the kind of support that you need, and then maybe just distance yourself from people who are not able to give you that type of support, because you really only want that positive energy in your early sobriety. All right, so the next one, focus on the positives. That really helped me in the early days of sobriety too. You're not getting hangovers, okay? You're instantly losing some weight. You're able to work out in the evening. That was a new thing for me. Like, I still prefer a morning workout, but before it's like, okay, well, I'm going to be drinking at 3 p.m., so obviously I can't go to the gym at 5. That would be crazy. It's kind of exciting that when you're not drinking, you can work out at any time of the day. It's great. There are so many positives right in the beginning. So I think focus on those. And if you're thinking about getting sober, focus on those, like the instant benefits that will happen. Relief of your hangovers, the instant weight drop, potentially. Don't focus on that, because some people lose weight, some people don't. I did significantly right away. And I know a lot of people that do, but that's obviously not the goal. The goal is your health and to kick a really bad habit that you might have. Another one that I have here, just about to the end, focus on what triggers you and recognize those triggers. I talked about this in my first episode, but for me, the airport was really triggering. I loved drinking alone at the airport where there was like no judgment and you could drink at any time and nobody was going to look twice at you. So recognize your triggers and develop strategies early for how to deal with those. It could be anything. Whenever you feel an intense urge to drink, maybe it's a social setting and you're feeling really uncomfortable. Whatever your trigger is, start developing some strategies and some alternatives. So like I said at the beginning of the episode, people get sober in all different ways, and there's no one right way to quit drinking. But I hope that this gave you some tips and tricks for how you can quit drinking and quit drinking successfully. Like I said, there are rehab, detox, AA, all that great stuff. But for me, I somehow managed to do it without any of that. I turned to online communities and also developed some really good tangible tips to use day to day to feel like I'm seen. And that I Am Sober app is really awesome because you do get that sense of community. It almost feels like you're in AA. So hopefully this gives some good tips, and I will see you for the next episode. Bye.